That's a little bit clickbaity, isn't it? Come off it. Hate's a strong word. I mean, 4 things I think are mildly annoying about the Pyro update doesn't have the same ring to it, okay? So it's a little bit clickbait. I'm not going to lie, okay? I'm sorry about that. I am actually going to do a video in the future about clickbait, so we'll leave that discussion for another day. Anyway, today we are going to be talking about this. Things that, I'm not going to lie, have driven me a little bit mental over the last few days. But before you panic, don't worry. I love the update. There's so much good stuff in there. But this episode is about having a bit of a moan, I know. I just wanted to vent because, I don't know about you guys, but there are certain things that have driven me a bit mad. And actually, that's the first thing I want you to do is comment below. Is there anything that's really been winding you up since you've started playing the update? Let's see if you agree with any of the points I make, and let's see if I've missed anything out as well. I have to say this is really unlike my channel. I like to be really positive and enthusiastic about stuff, but today we're just having a big old fat moan. But it's only a jokey moan, so don't worry. Anyway, let's jump in and see what we've got. Number 1, those tedious flipping contracts. And we've just been given more because of the Halloween update. Am I ever going to finish them all? How long have we got for these things? I think my craziness stems from the fact that I'm a bit worried about not finishing them all. I'm a bit of a completionist, a little bit OCD. I want them all to be finished perfectly with all the bonus contracts. I've got to go to work. You know, I've got stupid friends to see at the weekend. Goddamn human beings who want to interact with me. But I want to do all my contracts, okay? So, anyway, it's not how many there are that's the real issue here. It's the really tedious ones. So, let me explain. I love a good contract where you're just sort of doing it without even trying, if you see what I mean. You're getting points for playing the class how it's meant to be played. Maybe it encourages you to try a new weapon. That's cool too. And you just play that class with that weapon and you just sort of get points. Awesome. Blimmin' love it, mate. Really good example. I had one where I had to get lots of kills while blast jumping. Decided to switch to the airstrike, jumped around Banana Bay, racked up those kills. Actually had quite a lot of fun with the weapon. Really good. Another one with the backscatterer or whatever it's called. Don't ever use that weapon, but it made me sort of think about Scout differently and play him differently. Kind of forced me into trying new weapons. Love it. To be fair, actually that one was quite tedious, but anyway. It's the really kind of long-winded ones, the bonus objectives that you really have to grind to get, right? They're the painful ones. Capping a few points, sure. Having to cap the point on Mercenary Park 30 times? No, that's not okay. I don't want to play this map anymore. Jesus Christ. That's painful. I'm sorry. There's a couple actually I got recently which are kind of examples of bad contracts, in my opinions. Let me know if you agree. So, they were both for medic. One of them was kill a sentry gun while Ubering someone. Sounds pretty simple, right? Lovely, easy peasy, jobs are good 'un. So there's kind of a few barriers to actually making that happen. 1, the enemy team have to happen to have built a sentry gun. If you're playing Banana Bay, if you're playing lots of maps, it's not every single game, right? Even on Mercenary Park, it's not every single game. 2, you have to be kind of in the right spot at the right time with that sentry gun in front of you. 3, you have to have kind of not died over and over again whilst trying to build your stupid Uber up. Not that it happened to me. 4, you have to find a competent teammate to destroy the sentry gun. Actually, before even that, you have to find a teammate that isn't a Pyro because Pyros aren't great at killing sentry guns. So you have to find like a soldier or a demo, which are super rare. And then you got to kind of hope that he's not going to just, you know, go, meh, I might not kill that sentry gun. I'll just shoot this wall instead. So what I'm trying to say is I don't like the ones that are kind of partly out of your control, like ones like that. Another example is as a medic, again, I had to regen a bunch of health. So what did that mean I was doing? I was purposely dying and then going to cover to regen my health and playing the game like a complete mentalist. Now, obviously this is my fault. I should just play the game and rack up those points gradually, but like I said, I'm worried when they're going to take this away from me, so I'm grinding and I'm playing the game like a mental. So yeah, that's kind of the first thing I wanted to moan about, the more tedious contracts. I wish they'd kind of tone them down a bit, make it so people like me who can only play at the weekend have no worries about finishing them all. I haven't even looked at the Halloween ones yet, and I'm scared. There are 2 or 3 extra things regarding the contract system actually that I wanted to briefly mention. 1, you have to finish the round before you can hand in your contract. That's a bit annoying. I know why they're doing it, but sometimes you just got that last thing to do. You start a round and you do it and you're like, awesome, I killed that sentry gun with my Uber. I just want to hand it in and start a new one straight away. But they don't want you to do that, which is a shame. Another one is they don't let you do multiple contracts at once, which I think is, again, another real shame. I think in the past they let you do 2 at once, right? I'm pretty sure I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, I love the idea of, especially for the harder ones, if you got 2 or 3 stacked together, like one for a map, one for a class, one for a weapon, then it's really satisfying seeing all those points kind of come in all at once. And then finally, not a big deal, but the actual UI itself is a little bit fiddly. You know, having to jump into folders to start contracts, especially if you're me who's constantly switching between like attack and defense contracts. Because personally I've been switching quite a lot just, to try and quickly achieve as much as I can, if you see what I mean. Anyway, so yeah, tedious contracts. I hope that all made sense. Let me know if you agree with that first one. Number 2 is everyone's a pyro. Everyone's a blimmin' pyro, okay? Now, obviously everyone's a pyro, of course they are. And it's kind of funny to start with. It was actually really funny. Join a server, 100% pyros. It's mental, it's chaos. That's the joy of TF2. But I'm not going to lie to you, it's starting to get a little bit old. The thing is, it kind of breaks the game a little bit, I find. It gives the game a really weird dynamic. So some classes are kind of benefiting from it. For example, Soldier's quite strong right now. A sentry gun can do so much work right now, Other classes, they're having a harder time. And also, it kind of turns all the servers into basically just a big deathmatch, it feels like. Everyone's just running at each other, And that's the other thing. The WM1s have never been so real. They are out in force right now. And that kind of makes sense, right? Because a lot of these people trying to do these contracts are people who probably don't even play Pyro normally. They just want to quickly get his new weapons. So you're probably seeing a lot of very inexperienced Pyros just running at you. And they're everywhere. I'm literally seeing Pyros in my sleep. I've gone mad. Anyway, it is actually getting better. Even last weekend, it went from like 99% Pyros to roughly half the servers starting to mix it up and use other classes. Now, originally I was like, what are they doing? Why on earth are they going for the Pyro contracts? Do the other ones first. But then I realised a lot of people probably aren't going to bother buying the other ones. I'd love to know what the proportion is. I immediately bought the other ones and immediately started work on them. And believe it or not, I haven't actually touched the Pyro ones yet. I've not even played Pyro since the Pyro update started. Anyway, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. So the other thing about Pyros being everywhere, right, is that you're constantly on fire. It's so annoying. I find myself having to basically just chill out by a health pack. You can't venture too far from a health pack because you're going to be set alight in the next 10 to 15 seconds. It's a guaranteed fact. And the Dragon's Fury, right? Everyone's obviously using that. And I have no idea if it's like OP, if it's any good, is it fun? I just know it's everywhere and the servers are just chaos. It feels like it's too early to tell which of these weapons are viable, which are useful, and which are like OP if there are any, because it's such a weird environment out there in the world of TF2 at the moment. Okay, so there are too many Pyros around. That's number 2. That's fine. That's going to eventually go away. But let's see what the next one is. Number 3, and you're not going to like this, is Banana Bay and Mercenary Park. Do you fancy voting for another map to mix it up? No? Anyone? Okay, no, we'll just do Banana Bay again, that's fine. I'm cool with that. A little public service announcement. If we could just go ahead and not vote for those 2 maps over and over again, that would be great, thanks very much. Now, at first, I had no idea why this was happening because, like I said, I wasn't doing the Pyro contracts. I was like, why on earth are people choosing these maps over and over again? But I think it's because, now correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure the Pyro contracts, a lot of them are kind of centered around these maps, right? Which, if that's the case, that's a kind of another fault with the contracts. They should be, especially at the beginning, when they know everyone's going to be doing the same thing, it should be more flexible. Anyway, let's start with Banana Bay, right? So, it's kind of a fun map. It's a little bit deathmatchy, a little bit chaotic, lots of fun. It's basically the next high tower, right? And that's fine. But if you're trying to do your contracts, if you're grinding hard, it can get a bit annoying, And with the crazy long queues, I can't really be specific about which map I want to play. I tick them all because the queues have been so long recently. So yeah, basically the map's been driving me a little bit mental. But I'm not dissing it. I'm sure it's a good map. And when things settle down, I'm sure I'll love it a lot more. And Mercenary Park, again, I'm having to play that an awful lot right now. And I'm sure it's a great map, but it is getting a little bit old at this point. Especially the last point. You guys have got to agree with me on this one. All it takes is that one engineer on those stupid boxes with his stupid sentry gun and the whole game grinds to a halt. But when things settle down a bit, there's a few more soldiers doing the flank route. I'm sure that'll be a lot easier to actually push into that last point. Before we go on to the last one, let me talk about the other maps real quick. Believe it or not, there are actually some other maps in the update. I know, I had no idea. So Lazarus I've played like a couple of times. Moss Rock I've played a couple of times. Enclosure and Brazil I've literally played once each since this update started. I've played the game for like days and I've only seen them once each. It's mental. And personally, like based on my limited experience so far, I'd say that Enclosure and Brazil are probably my favourite too. Obviously I'm a bit biased, I love King of the Hill and I love Payload. But yeah, they seem like really good fun, so I'm hoping people will gradually start to vote for them a bit more, and maybe I'll do some videos on them in the future. Okay, the last one, and then I'll promise, that's it, done. No more moaning ever again. Bugs and exploits. Now, to be fair, these are completely expected with an update, right? To some extent, with a small development team like Valve has. That's totally cool, you know, and they have patched it really quickly, so a lot of these actually probably don't exist anymore, so amazing job. But you know, I'm going to have a little moan about some of them and share my experiences with you guys. First of all, the big fat end boss heavy. To be fair, I actually semi-enjoyed this one a little bit. That's probably because I didn't have loads of bad experiences with it. I only saw it once or twice. You know, there's a clip in the background. We were all just trying to deck him and he had his fists out and it was actually quite funny. It was actually quite fun. Felt like an end boss, you know. But I'm sure there are lots of people who had a much worse experience than I did with this guy. One of the bigger issues for me though were the contract bugs. Those really were annoying because, as I said before, I was trying to grind these contracts and then you find out that actually it's not been registering that one thing you've been trying to do. One example that I had was the loose cannon contract. I needed to get some double donks. I was getting hundreds of the goddamn things, but for some reason it wasn't registering. So that was a bit annoying. But again, they've been working on patching all these very quickly. So that's all cool. Some of the other bugs and exploits I saw were the sentry gun on Mercenary Park, kind of above the second point. That was a bit annoying. That definitely ruined at least one game, I think. And then I think the one I saw the absolute most was the classic Mercenary Park teleporter that took the defending team into a random little area behind a fence. Good job, NGs. I hope you're having fun with that one. I'm pretty sure I got teleported into that space about 3 or 4 times and then immediately had to kill myself. But you know, what can you do? What can you do? Anyway guys, there we have it. 4 things that have been a little bit annoying with the Pyro update. Let me know if you agree with any of these. Is Banana Bay driving you mad? Have you gone completely mental grinding these contracts? And how long have we even got to do these contracts? Because I'm scared. They've added new ones. It's just too much to do. I can't bear it. Anyway, I'll try and do some more videos on the Pyro update and maybe some Halloween ones too. So stay tuned. As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next video.